unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go, sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. Why do I feel like it's Friday? Maybe wishful thinking. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day is giving thanks to God, giving praises to the Most High, and asking for the blessings of the ancestors, the elders, and of course, God Almighty. And then we go. Y'all named this Think Tank Thursday. So we're going to think about stuff all day long and try to be part of coming up with ways to improve our lives and be part of the greater good, right? That's what we aim. That's what I aim to. Always, let's be a force for God in the world. Let's be a force for change. We're going to make our daily pledge to be courageous because, well, these are crazy times, right? And courage is called for. Courage also happens to be contagious. So the way we do things on a Think Tank Thursday, hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town, what we call the Pacific Ocean side. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive, hot topic, person of interest, or perhaps all of the above. We're mostly on point today. In hour three, we'll be hearing from Pastor Eddie Anderson and looking at the role of the progressive in this current political environment. As a progressive pastor, that should be quite an engaging conversation. Aslan Pulley of the Chicago Torture Center is feeling better, has bounced back, so she's going to give us a report from the front lines, what's going on with those ICE raids there, not only as they impact the immigrant community, of course, that's of concern too, but also as it pertains to Black Americans who are being disproportionately impacted from what I understand on the ground there as well in ways we might not be seeing in the mainstream media. So we're going to get a look at that. Joining me in the studio right now, though, with a different angle on what's going on here on the left coast, and also I would say super important right now at this moment in history. He's the co-lead of something called the Fatherhood Well-Being Initiative, which is part of the LA County Department of Mental Health. He plays a central role there in advancing their mission to support and uplift fathers across LA County. I bet you didn't know that that was a thing. And he's been grounded in this work with 20 years of experience working directly with dads, including those dealing with trauma, economic hardship, reentry after incarceration, and all the other ways that life be life in. And so we are very happy to have Dr. Ed Armstrong in the studio. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you in. I'm a person that feels that we, sometimes we put mental health last. It's like, gotta eat, gotta, maybe gotta sleep, worry about my finances, keep the lights on, maybe work out. And mental health is number 10 on the list.
Well, it's not even on the list for some men,
right,
and fathers. That's the issue. You mentioned the challenges of supporting and raising and being a man. That doesn't equate to mental health. And it's a conversation that's well overdue, past due. So hopefully this morning we'll have time to talk about what what the department is doing, what the county is doing to promote what you call is, oh, I didn't even know about this well-being initiative. Well, many people don't. And so hopefully this conversation today will promote more discussion and more interaction, more involvement by fathers, by men to get involved and get help, reduce stigma, reduce any pathology that's associated with men needing help. So that's our department's mission. That's my mission with this work.
Well, Dr. Armstrong, you're in luck. We got time today.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it.
And you say it's not even on the list for men. Is that more so true than for women? That men just is mental health for sissies? Is that
listen? That's the world we were raised in.
Right.
That's a world, and there's a heavy cultural component. Mm-hmm. So Black men or men of color, you don't get help. That's not what we do. Suck it up. Stop crying. Like you mentioned, there are a lot of negative stereotypes surrounding men.
I'll give you something to cry about.
I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah.
And we see the pathology. We see how that looks in our community. It directly results in father absenteeism. So if a man can't be a man, he'll disappear. If a man can't be a man, he'll get angry.
When you say if a man can't be a man, you mean our society's definition of a man.
Our society's
if he falls short of this sort of superhero measurement, then he is going to just disappear and be a nothing?
Because he won't get help.
So,
right?
So, I mean, I think what you're saying right now is, we hear as women, we hear about men being under pressure, mm-hmm. and understanding that as a woman, we say, okay, I'm under pressure too. But this idea that if I can't live up to some superhero metrics, then I'm a failure and I need to disappear, does help to explain the correlation between, mental health challenges and absenteeism.
Absolutely. And how do you, as a woman, when you're depressed or when you need help, when you need support, what do you do? Usually
call my girlfriends or get some French fries.
Okay, that works. Men can definitely eat, but we don't talk. We don't emote.
It's so funny you say that, because men are always saying women talk. We're always on the phone. But in my observation, men talk too. Men be on them cell phones. They might be talking about sports or hoes, but they're talking just as much as we're talking.
It's the quality, the substance of what they're talking about. There's little depth in our dialogues, right? Kind of historically, and that's what this movement is all about. It's creating a space for fathers to be able to express themselves, to be able to emote, to be able to cry, to be able to access those feelings that hurt, that cause pain, because they exist. But we've been trained to push and tuck and push through and just not even deal with it.
To be honest, I mean, they have to be there. Y'all are human beings. Human beings have feelings and emotions. Yeah. When you say there's no depth there, because, this is, and I feel kind of bad right now, guilty kind of listening to you, because I've always pushed back when men say, you guys talk and we don't talk. I know men, I got a lot of brothers. Okay. I had a husband at one time, mm-hmm. and y'all be on the phone. Mm-hmm. So how do you get that depth within those conversations? I just assume that this is the sort of weird way that men support each other. I mean, with women, we're very overt about it. Girl, you're going to be all right. We listen to each other, tell the same story 300 times until we feel better.
Yeah.
I just figured that's how men do it, by talking about sports and cars and stuff, but apparently not. So how do you get to that depth?
I think it's reducing stigma around what depth is and our ability to go there. So women are nurtured as children, as babies, right? To be loving.
Hopefully so, yeah.
Hopefully, right? I mean, just traditional, right? We think about traditional gender roles, norms.
Yeah. I just know in the Black community, we're not always doing a lot of hugging and nurturing, sometimes there's more yelling, and
especially so with men, right? And so we've been reared to push feelings aside, right? Not not access emotions, especially if they're negative. And so I think one of the ways to kind of shift, and this is what we're doing with the department. So we'll talk about what the department is doing. We'll talk about, my perspective on things. What we're doing is creating spaces and opportunities for men to just get together. That's step one. Let's just get together.
Right.
Whether it be at a park, whether it be at a
create
clinic,
the opportunity.
Let's create the opportunity. Once the opportunity is there, yeah, there'll be some Dodger talk. We lost last night. It's fine. We'll be okay. There'll be some Dodger talk, okay. Right? Yeah. But what we talk about is, and this is, some of the work is curriculum based, some of it is rather organic, but we're talking about how you feel. How you feel. No, I want to talk about how you're feeling.
The reason I'm laughing is because I can't tell you how many self-help books I've read where they say, don't ask men how they feel.
Why not?
I don't know. Because y'all don't want to be asked how you feel.
We need
apparently.
To be. Right. No, we need to be. That's the problem. We need to be asked how we feel.
They say, ask a man what he thinks, not what he feels.
Well, we can do both.
Yeah.
Men have the ability to both think and feel at the same time. What we see, and we see the pathology, right? As a psychologist, I look at behaviors. So my behavior suggests how you really feel and how you think. How you feel more so than what you think. And so if we don't create opportunities to talk about feelings, we will watch behaviors. And if the feelings are negative, the behaviors are also going to be negative. That's the problem.
That's the equation. Dr. Ed Armstrong is with us. If you have a thing to say about this, you want to weigh in, or you have a question, you're invited. 800-920-1580, or hop in the chat on YouTube, KBLA 1580. The comment section is always rather lively. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever, with eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G scores, root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate, with keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless, for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominic DePrima right now.
Right now, here's the thing I didn't know existed, the LA County. And I know a thing or two about the county, not as much as, the experts because it's massive, but I know a thing or two. I didn't know the LA County Department of Mental Health had a father's support hub. Who knew? Maybe you did. I'm pretty sure Dr. Ed Armstrong did because he is over this initiative.
Mm-hmm.
What is that hub? What does it do? What does it offer? Why do we care?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health, the largest mental health system in the nation. So let me just say that.
Start there.
We're big. And in June of 2023, our Board of Supervisors launched an initiative for all county departments to create a father well-being initiative within their respective programs. So we're talking about not only DMH, DCFS, probation, the court system, child support. The Board of Supervisors were super intentional about making sure fathers, primarily fathers of color, had access to resources and support to engage with their children. And for us to access mental health services. So the hub is essentially designed to create opportunities for wellness groups. We have a platform where folks can email in and get information about resources in their community. So the range of interests that we get on this particular hub is school districts, court systems, DCFS reaching out on behalf of fathers who want to get treatment. And so treatment from a fatherhood perspective is it's not just your traditional mental health treatment, but it's intervention strategies designed to promote father engagement. Because we know what father absenteeism looks like in this country. We know what it looks like in LA. And I have a bunch of stats, and maybe we'll get to it later on, maybe we won't. But the Wellness Hub is designed for people throughout the county, huge county, to access support and services. And many people don't know. Many people don't know about it, but since launching it, we receive interest on a daily basis from the community reaching out for help, which we're incredibly proud of.
Which is great. I mean, in DMH for Department of Mental Health, dmh.lacounty.gov. If you go there, then you can probably type in Father Support Hub and find it.
That's it.
I'm on there right now, and I do see a lot of different stuff. When you say the Board of Supervisors was intentional regarding this initiative of every department having a father help component, the idea is to make sure more dads are engaged with their family, with their kids, whether they're divorced or separated or never married, or whether they're even still in the home.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. And so we define father absenteeism as just simply out of the children's lives, right? So we understand that when a father is involved with the mom, whether it's co-parenting or in a relationship, or primarily when the father is involved with the child, the statistics, the research suggests that there are better outcomes, better quality of life, lower risk of criminal involvement, better academic success. So understanding the risks of father absenteeism, what we're doing is we're promoting, get engaged, get in your children's life. You may not be with the mom. You may not, we're not healthy relationships, I think, is a byproduct of father engagement. You can have a healthy relationship and not being in a relationship, but you can definitely have a healthy relationship with your child, regardless of your relationship status. And that's what we're promoting. We're promoting the reduction of stigma related to getting help, to getting in your children's life. And we believe those things are interconnected to a great deal.
Right. We listen and we don't judge.
There we go. Well, I'll take that.
Okay, that's one of those internet memes. But I
Right.
see there's also a helpline here 24/7, the 800-854-7771.
Mhm.
What is the purpose of that?
Emergencies, crisis, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So anybody, so this is above and beyond just fatherhood and paternal mental health.
As for any mental health
it's for any
crisis.
mental health crisis, primarily. So your psychiatric emergencies.
It's interesting because I feel like, when I talk to you, it seems like there's all these resources available for mental health, but it seems like it's not that easy always to get help when you need it. If you need therapy or ongoing support, maybe I just don't know where to access it. We've done many shows on mental health and different resources come to the fore, but when I look at the accessibility, it seems like it could be better.
It can always be better. It can always be better. This is a start. The hub was launched in January of this year, so it was just launched, very intentionally so, right? So it was developed to create a network of community partners, community-based organizations, for us to be able to share and essentially develop resources, share resources, increase accessibility for people in the community. So a one-stop shop. So if you were to go to this website and you contact our staff, again, we receive these daily emails, a daily request for information, whether it be a father seeking support or a partner seeking support for their father, or a school district, for example, who wants someone to come speak to their parents and speak to their fathers, or any type of engagement or outreach efforts. It starts there. So a part of promoting accessibility is you inviting me on this show. Thank you very much for having me. Right?
Anytime, you're always welcome. My mic is your mic.
Yes, absolutely. And getting the word out about what the department is doing, and building more relationships through this initiative, through these conversations, through this dialogue. So half of my brain is focused on accessibility, and the other half is focused on reducing stigma. So you can be as accessible as you want to be, but if there's stigma surrounding paternal mental health and men seeking help,
right, meaning that people feel judged, or they feel like
absolutely,
it makes them into a something or other, a sucker, a sissy, a simp,
right?
Whatever.
Right.
So how do you reduce stigma? How do we do that? It's like somebody's got to go in the water first.
We're all in the water. I'm in the water, right? I think me being here, me being a Black male psychologist who served in the Marines, who was in law enforcement.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I am by design someone who should be oozing toxic masculinity, right? But I'm not. Right, I'm a psychologist who's here. I will emote. I will share. I encourage other men to share. I promote sharing, and that's how stigma starts.
Well,
stigma is reduced, right?
You say toxic masculinity because that's the image of the Marines and also the police department. I've long said
1000%.
cops need to have mandatory counseling or therapy.
Absolutely. Every
single one of them, and mandatory mental health check-ins.
Absolutely, yeah. No argument here. No, yeah, I agree with you. This conversation, and I think this effort is and let me just back up. The first time I went to therapy, a young cop, because an older cop who had developed a relationship, a mentor who I really looked up to, says, "Hey man, go talk to somebody. It's not bad at all." I did it. It worked, right? It opened my eyes to talking and emoting can be very, very healing. It restores us. It can restore men, and that's the frame that we're trying to shift. So seeking help is restorative.
Right. It's healing. It's we've got news, traffic, and sports right here, but we welcome you in 800-920-1580 if you want to say something about something. You got a question? If not, I do. Dr. Ed Armstrong is here. And we are talking dads and what's available to you. The Father's Support Hub is a place to start. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Tensions rise as the government shutdown stretches past a week. Reporters saw Representative Mike Lawler and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries clash on Capitol Hill.
Because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
The Senate rejected 2 bills on Wednesday. Louisiana State Police are doubling down, saying reckless driving by Black former LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey caused a 2024 crash that killed 78-year-old Herman Hall. New video shows Lacey speeding in a no-passing zone. However, his attorney disputes the claim, citing video evidence that shows Lacey was nowhere near the crash. Lacey died by suicide in April. And Lakers legend Magic Johnson will lead the 2026 Rose Parade as Grand Marshal. Announced Wednesday, the New Year's Day event in Pasadena, California will celebrate the magic in teamwork, a fitting theme for the NBA icon. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers will have to play the Philadelphia Phillies at least one more time to advance to the National League Championship Series. The Phillies avoided elimination Wednesday night with an 8-2 victory at Dodger Stadium. Game 4 in the best-of-5 is today at 3 p.m. Laker legend Magic Johnson will be the Grand Marshal for the Rose Bowl Parade on New Year's Day. Magic will lead the 137th annual parade on January 1st. Later that day, Magic will participate in the coin toss for a college football playoff quarterfinal game scheduled to be played at the Rose Bowl. The next time you go to the Lakers website, take a moment to watch a video called Forever Iconic, Purple and Gold Always. The 90-second tribute to the Lakers was produced by Natalia Bryant, Kobe's oldest daughter. The video is Natalia's first film project since she graduated from USC School of Cinematic Arts in May. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy place every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
September is World Alzheimer's Month, a time to shine a light on a public health crisis that deeply impacts Black families. 1 in 5 Black adults ages 70 and older is living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD, and the risk is twice as high compared to white adults. But AD isn't just forgetting a name or losing track of time. Signs of early AD could be repeating questions, missing appointments, or struggling with bills and daily tasks. These things aren't a normal part of aging. Here's the good news. Treatments are available that may help if AD is diagnosed early. If you notice changes in memory or daily routines, whether in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatalsearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com to learn more about the signs and symptoms and a potential treatment option. This message is brought to you by AZI.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights, because let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I do appreciate you. We are talking with Dr. Ed Armstrong, and he really wants you to be familiar with all the things that LA County Department of Mental Health is doing with their Fatherhood Well-Being Initiative. I think it's important. We're always talking on Father's Day about how the classic Chris Rock jokes about how nobody appreciates the father. Well, Dad, thanks for these lights. It's really great to have lights on.
And the big piece of chicken. And the big piece of chicken. That's it.
And so this is something that's been launched by the county since January to be filtering through every single department in terms of supporting dads.
That actually started in June of 2023. So our hub started.
The hub
we
in
launched that in January this year. Yeah.
Okay, we've got Bobby on the phone calling us from LA. Bobby, good morning. You're on with Dr. Armstrong.
Hey, Dominique, how are you?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind this morning?
I have a question for Dr. Armstrong. With all these mass shootings by white men, what's going on with the mental health of white men?
That's a broad question.
It's a very broad question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it speaks to the general nature of men, and we're talking about men of color primarily for this particular segment, but I think there's a tremendous amount of stigma related to men seeking help, and across.
I mean,
nationalities, right?
I think it's a broad question, but I do think it's a fair question, not just because of the mass shootings at high schools and stuff, but the attacks, the white supremacist attacks, like at the Tops Market and the church, and even the recent killing of one very famous influencer by another person that was also white. It seems like it is a problem right now for our society.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look to answer your question, Bobby, from my perspective, pathology, when we look at behaviors, there's a core. There's something there that's deeper, and what we're pushing for in paternal mental health and in male mental health is having access to those feelings to prevent that pathological behavior. So how do we provide an intervention? How do we provide space for men to seek help before they reach that point? Because if we can always argue that with proper intervention, folks are less likely to engage in deviant or pathological behavior. So that's our collective challenge in the mental health field broadly.
So they have the same ups and downs as black men, white men do.
All men do.
Getting their problems, talking their problems out, and talking to people, period.
So you're saying, what you're asking is, you said they have the same problems. Dr. Armstrong agreed, but what you're asking is, will the talk therapy or talking with groups of trusted friends or individual trusted friends help them in the same way that would help us? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough to speculate on that. I mean, there's so many individual nuances related to why people engage in behaviors. I will say that broadly, one of the differences between their cultural differences in accessibility and stigma in terms of getting help. It looks different in different communities.
Yeah.
And that's,
Well,
and
we're
that,
all
that's a
human
challenge.
beings. I mean, all of us need human connection. We need to be
Right.
able to talk out our feelings. Maybe it's a different kind of talking out, but I mean, I think we're all human beings and we all need support and help. Paul in the chat says social media provided a vehicle for a ton of these radicalized people to seek out and find each other. They're angrier, lonelier, and have more grievances. I mean, that's our perception, watching from the outside looking in.
And to address that, there's also opportunity. I mean, social media, from our perspective, creates opportunities to create other spaces that are less negative, right? And so being intentional about creating spaces for folks to gather and express feelings can also be done with social media. So social media,
it's a two-way street.
Absolutely,
Yeah, double-edged
absolutely.
sword for sure.
Absolutely.
Molly Bell asks, men, are y'all hurting over the White House and the men in leadership? I hear anguish, but Black women hurt openly. Mental health doesn't always seem to be included.
She's absolutely right. That is, if you were to summarize everything that we've discussed, women emote to express things openly, men suffer internally.
And that's the definition of internalizing things, right?
Absolutely.
Which means it can make you stressed, it can make you sick. I mean, not in a sort of airy-fairy way, but actual high
physical
blood pressure,
absolutely.
heart attack,
Absolutely.
strokes.
Absolutely.
All
100%.
the things we do
high,
not want.
Yeah, we know that statistically men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women.
Wow.
And part of that is how we process and how we internalize grief, pain, and anguish, as the lady in the chat described.
Willie Ellis wants to know if there's such a thing as a reformed racist. Seems like a bit of a swerve, but I guess it's stemming off of Bobby's question.
Okay. It's a good question.
I'm going to say yes. From my perspective,
okay.
all human beings have the ability to reform themselves. And
absolutely.
Otherwise, if we don't believe that, then we just give up
then
on
we
people.
give up and we stop. So what is learned can be unlearned, and then new things can be relearned. I mean, that's the core of I'm not a pure behavioral psychologist, but understanding every behavior is learned and it can be unlearned and relearned. I mean, so people can be shaped, even the darkest of us.
So
can
when
be shaped.
I mean, I also think Bobby's question about, people doing mass shootings and these horrendous attacks goes back to the question of what we're supposed to be pouring into our babies, young men, and in early childhood. How do we set them up to be able to get the help, to be able to move away from that stigma and have a healthy mental health environment?
Well, it starts with creating an environment. I want to highlight a couple agencies. Children's Institute Incorporated, a large early education mental health treatment organization, and the Children's Collective. Children's Institute launched Project Fatherhood. The late Dr. Herschel Swinger, great man. One of my mentors. I received Project Fatherhood training from him over 20 years ago. Great legacy for what that organization is doing. So they're integrating early childhood daycares, other types of early childhood interventions, and interweaving that with fathers, with fathers getting support. So they're treating the whole family system. The same can be said with the Children's Collective. Children's Collective has launched a new fatherhood hub for fathers to come in and get exposure to treatment as a part of their engagement with the families. So when and earlier off, during our break, we spoke about postpartum in men. It does exist. Folks really don't think it exists because it's not publicized at a high degree.
Right. So after the family has a baby,
right,
the man can also experience depression and anxiety and all
One
of
out of
that.
every 10 men experience postpartum depression.
And they probably don't know. They probably don't recognize it.
Well,
as
you know
that.
what it looks like?
What does it look like?
Anger, irritability, isolation. What's wrong with this? He doesn't care. Why is he not engaging with me? Why is he not engaging with the baby? Our males behavior when it comes to things like depression and anxiety fundamentally look different, right? Men behave. We act out, right? We don't so we internalize and we act out. And so one of the reasons why I mentioned the importance of early childhood and early intervention is to address some of the postpartum challenges that men face, integrating the fathers with the children, kind of normalizing some of these physical and emotional changes that happen during the latter stages of pregnancy. Well, in some cases throughout the entire pregnancy, but from the latter ends of pregnancy during that first year, if fathers have an opportunity to combine mental health with the care and the development of the children, you create a stronger bond that will likely to continue to connect and continue to grow throughout the child's life.
So 1 in 10 is a lot of folks.
That's a great starting point.
Yeah, I mean, 1 in 10 Black fathers having, or all fathers having, postpartum is a lot of folks, and I would imagine the reaction is, well, you should be happy. You had a baby. You should be happy. You know, your child is healthy. The wife is healthy, or the mama.
Yeah. Well, there's that. And then there's the perception of what would my dad be upset? Well, how would my dad want me to handle this? So a lot of the bias, a lot of stigma comes from within. I shouldn't be upset. I'm here to support her. She went through the childbirth. She's experiencing everything. Why am I feeling like this? So we suppress it. We don't.
Well, why is he feeling like that?
There are hormonal changes that happen to men, right? Testosterone changes, oxytocin levels change. There's some behavior. There's some physiological changes that happen when men are part of the birth giving process, and many people don't realize that. And that's what we need to bring that to the attention of the medical community knows. I think part of the paternal mental health community, but these two communities aren't quite speaking. They're not quite engaged as they should be. But that's an opportunity for us. That's an opportunity.
I want to quickly flag something you said, which is that you're dealing with the family systems model, because so many times I think we, as a society and definitely as media, say that person needs help, that child is a problem, that dad is a deadbeat dad, that child is a gang member, and we think you can just clean up the one person and then put them back in that dirty environment and they're going to stay clean.
And we know that doesn't work.
Do we?
We look at the stats. Look at the stats. I mean, you can look at every metric in our community, whether it's low academic success, high rates of incarceration, lower financial stability, can all be connected to, in part, father absenteeism, and the lack of treatment for the entire family. Again, we're not promoting stay with her just because. We're promoting healthy relationships in terms of family engagement.
Right. Absenteeism doesn't mean you have to stay together and keep being a couple. It just means you have to be
present
part
in your child's
of
life.
The family system some kind of way.
Yes.
Show up.
That's it. Show up, pick up the sky. You know, there are school districts in LA County who do a great job of having the donuts with dads. Special events where fathers and uncles and grandfathers are assigned to drop the kids off, and we share resources, and we come together and we talk about the importance of being in your child's life and the benefits of being in your child's life, and the benefits, and obviously the benefits are great for the child, but there's also benefits for the mom.
And I would imagine the dad. I mean, I just feel like men are so much more grounded or happy when they are connected with their children.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No matter what they doing with the mama.
Right. And that,
not doing.
And we see that all the time. And I think what tends to happen is we want to intentionally target those fathers who feel like they're less than because they're not present or they cannot economically provide. There are a lot of social norms around being a dad.
Yeah.
And if I can't pick my son up or my daughter up, and I can't have something for them, or if I can't take them to eat, if I can't give them something, I basically failed as a man and as a father. We want to eradicate that and emphasize that your presence is enough, and the stuff will come later on.
Dr. Ed Armstrong is our guest. We're talking fatherhood. Couldn't get much more important of a conversation than that. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. SMP volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an SMP open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caSMPvolunteer.org.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Yeah, interesting conversation. Dr. Ed Armstrong, off mic, we were talking about why the suicide rate is going up, particularly among young Black boys, because this is one area where Black folks have always actually had better outcomes. We're less likely to do suicide to ourselves, both boys and girls, men, old and young. And now the numbers are starting to climb for Black boys in particular.
They're climbing, and they're also the age, they're getting younger.
It's happening younger. And I read about a little girl too. I think she was like 10 or something and took her own life. That is very troubling. What are we meant to be doing about this?
Seeking help, getting help, normalizing help. Mental health matters. And I think starting very, very early, creating opportunities and spaces for children to talk about their feelings, to process their feelings. Their worlds are social media, right? So they have a vision of what reality looks like from this social media lens. And that lens doesn't always talk about discomfort and pain and help. And so if you don't see the world through that lens, this glamorous lens of everything's perfect, it further magnifies your inferiority. So
right.
you,
It makes
so you feel less than.
Right. You feel like you're the only one that has problems because everyone else is giving you their Instagram version of themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the likes.
But
and
as parents, and and again, back to your fatherhood initiative, I think we're more likely to tell boys, suck it up, get it together. But we do it to young women too.
Absolutely.
I mean, quit crying. We think that they're trying to get out of stuff, that they're being lazy, that they're being whiny.
Yeah, we're parenting. We're parenting. Let's parent a little bit differently.
So what's the line there between coddling and babying our kids? Something I admit I've been accused of that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And between coddling and abusing by not offering them the help that they need.
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line and a shift. I think the idea of coddling in our community comes from a really, really important place. Like, Black people don't have space to be complaining or why. This is all stereotypes. We don't have time to be soft. We gotta get out there. We gotta pick ourselves by the bootstraps, get out there. Nobody's gonna help us. We gotta help ourselves. Don't cry. Get out there and make it happen.
Don't cry, pick cotton.
Exactly. So, but it's 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that historical trauma doesn't impact how we think and move and operate today. I'm suggesting that we incorporate more contemporary strategies to address or to allow children to open up, to allow children to cry. I will tell you, and I share this with some men I speak with, I only saw my dad cry once in his entire life. And that was when his father passed away. And so, like, seeing a man, and it was very emotional.
Yeah.
Because
I only saw my dad cry once, and it was when my sister was murdered. So
yeah, and come to a man's group, come to a man's space, you will see men cry every day.
Really?
You will see men cry,
and they're okay with it.
And they're okay with it.
They're not judging each other.
You scratch the surface. Listen, you scratch the surface.
Mm-hmm.
One guy cries.
Mm-hmm.
You just scratch it a little bit. Everybody cries in there because we've carried so much over the years.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm suggesting is that we integrate emoting and crying, an expression of feelings, and it doesn't have to be tears, right? Because tears is a, it's an extreme form of, it's pain. It doesn't have to be that extreme. I would like us to start normalizing. How do you feel? How did that make you feel? How are you feeling right now? Check in and have conversations about what our kids are experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're experiencing it.
And part of it is, this is my perception, but I think part of it is, as parents, we have an ego trip that how our kids act reflects on us.
100%.
So they need to be quiet and good at all times.
100%. And what is that? What are we telling them?
Don't express yourself.
Tuck it away.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Yeah.
Suck it up, because there's a social norm. I have expectations for you that match what society says is society is deemed appropriate, that's 100% incongruent with how you're feeling in that moment. And so we're training our children to suppress feelings.
Okay, well, Dr. Armstrong, you're going to have to come back if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
The hour has flown by. Tell us how to connect with this Father Support Hub.
Visit our website. Spend some time on the LA County DMH website. There's a plethora of resources for all families and all populations in need. Of particular, we want you to visit the Father website, Fatherhood support site. Look around there. There are over 45 to 50 groups that happen countywide. So regardless if you're in AV, if you're in Long Beach, or in Pomona, there's help for you. So visit our site, tell us, communicate, tell us what your needs are. We'll come out, we'll speak, we'll engage, we'll do a presentation. We will offer support in any way this community needs. And this is a really good time. 2025 is a really, really good time to be a LA County resident who needs help. The help is there for fathers, for anybody in the community. And we're excited to be able to support this entire county.
Well, Dr. Armstrong, thank you so much. I appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yep. Let's see what's going on in Chicago after news, traffic, and sports. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Tensions rise as the government